Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today, we're going to be making Alyssa's Kitchen's sourdough English muffins. Now, I've only been in the sourdough game for about 4 years, and in that time, I've searched high and low for a good sourdough English muffin, and these are by far the best. Don't take my word for it, just make them and see for yourself. This recipe is very straightforward. It's not complicated. I do it in my stand mixer, and it's much easier for me, anyways. You can definitely mix this by hand, it's not a problem. So, what I have in the bowl of my stand mixer is 250 grams of whole milk and 105 grams of water, filtered water, and I warmed that up to about 103 degrees. I don't want to go any more than that and risk killing my starter. To that, I added 150 grams of active starter and then 40 grams of honey. Now, the honey just gives it a tiny bit of sweetness. It's nothing like overly sweet. So, took it off the scale and mixed it really well with my dough whisk. And in the red bowl, I have 540 grams of bread flour and 8 grams of salt. I am going to add that, put it on my stand mixer, and let it go for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once it's done mixing, I'm going to take the hook out, scrape down my sides, scrape off my hook, make sure you get all the dough off, and then cover it and let it rest for 1 hour. Since this is like the leaf version. Boy, I can't talk today. The fermentalese version of making a loaf of sourdough, except everything is added at once. So once it's rested for an hour, you're going to put it back onto the mixer and let it knead for about 5 minutes. Now, you want to do it, my KitchenAid goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as far as speeds go. I put it on speed number 2 and let it beat up like that. And you don't want to go any higher than a medium speed, otherwise you're going to knock your stand mixer over. Don't ask me how I know that. um, Once you knead the dough, you're going to cover it and let it finish bulk fermenting. Now remember, in sourdough, bulk fermentation starts when you add your starter. So this is another one of those things where you're going to want to keep track of the time. Now at this point, it's been sitting for an hour. We let it knead and then let it bulk ferment again. Now I put mine back in my glass bowl. You guys don't have to do that. You can definitely let it do all its bulk fermentation and whatnot in the bowl of your mixer, but I'm nosy. I need to know what's going on with my dough. So anyway, here you can see I am putting it back on the mixer to let it knead, and it's again on speed 2. Once it's done with this, you're going to cover it and let bulk fermentation go. Now that's only going to take between 5 to 7 hours total. So now we're at 1 hour. I probably have maybe 4 hours left. So you can see I took my dough out. I'm going to work it just a little bit on the counter and then put it in my glass bowl. Then I'm going to cover it and put it somewhere where it can just hang out. Halfway through bulk fermentation, you're going to do 1 round of stretch and folds. Now, if you don't remember what those are, you're just going to dampen your hands, reach under the dough, lift up, and fold it over on top of itself. Okay? And you're going to go around the bowl 1 time. Once that's complete, then you will cover it and let it finish bulk fermenting. Once it's done both fermenting, you will be able to see that there's a rise in your dough. Okay? There's a rise, there's bubbles throughout. It may not be all that bubbly on top, but it's not going to stick to your hands. You're going to keep it covered and put it in the refrigerator overnight. Okay? Now, this you can keep in the refrigerator up to 24 hours. I've done that before. And to be honest, the muffins were really, really delicious. So, the next day, you're going to take your dough out, dump it out onto the counter, and portion it out. These are 90 grams plus or minus 2 grams portion size. Now, on the cookie sheet, I have 4-inch crumpet rings, which are available on Amazon, and I can link to them. You could use a 4-inch hamburger bun mold if you want that. I could link that as well. But you'll portion them out. You'll roll them into balls, and then roll them in cornmeal. You see the little blue bowl of cornmeal right there. You want to make sure that they're completely covered so they don't stick to the molds. Now, when I took these out of the oven, I had an issue with that. But anyways, it was only for I think 1 or 2 that stuck in one little spot on the mold. But anyway, once you're done portioning and rolling them out into cornmeal, you'll cover these and let them rise for 2 to 3 hours. This batch took 2.5 hours to rise. And once it's risen, you'll preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You will cover them in a sheet of parchment paper and make sure it covers them completely. Okay? And once your oven comes to temperature, you will place another baking sheet on top of the one you have. If you don't have another baking sheet that size, you could use smaller baking sheets. You could use a cake pan, but as long as it's not too heavy, no glass, no ceramic, aluminum is fine. You just put another baking sheet up in, and what that does is retard the expansion of it. It fills the ring, because you'll be able to see that these don't fill the ring quite completely, but once they bake, they will fill the ring. But you don't want them to get too tall. I learned that lesson the hard way as well. Before I had these baking sheets, I had to use what I had available, and they weren't heavy enough to retard the muffins from growing. So you'll cover them in a sheet of parchment, put a baking sheet on top, bake them. I bake mine for 23 minutes, but you can bake them for 20 to 25 minutes. They will not be colorful, okay? Now, these English muffins are different from other recipes because you don't have to put them in a frying pan first and fry them. You just put them in the oven with the pan on top, bake them for the 20 to 25 minutes, and then pull them out. You'll let them cool and take them out of the rings right away, or take them out of the mold right away. You have to be careful, they're hot, but there's no color on them. However, when you fork split these, you'll split them with a fork, pull them open, and put them in the toaster. They toast up beautifully. I cannot stress that enough. They're just absolutely, and they're delicious. They're so delicious toasted, I can't even explain it. So, I will post the recipe in the description along with the links for the molds. And I hope you guys give this one a try because it's really, like I said, it's really delicious. And thank you for joining me today. You all have a lovely, lovely rest of your day, and we will speak to you soon.